Gula.
My name is Rambha Maharaj, and I'm a yoga instructor, certified yoga instructor with the Art of Living Foundation. I've been teaching for the past 12 years, and with the Girmit Centre, I'm the instructor for past 8 years or so. This is Milinka Watamasho, and she's also a yoga instructor. She's been my student, and I'm so proud of her, so grateful that she's helping me spread the word now. And I'm very happy and grateful to be here today to share my yoga journey with you all. So as a teenager, I was introduced to yoga by a Pisco teacher in school. And from then onwards, I've been hooked on yoga, on and off. I was practicing for about 30 odd years. Each time I needed to lose weight, or I needed to had a special event or occasion to attend, I would get into yoga to lose some weight, fit into nice clothes and stuff like that. And then after I got married, 2 children, after both my pregnancies, yoga helped me to get back to an ideal weight and health in a very short and fast time. So it was all good for me. And then some 15 years ago, I came back into yoga seriously, totally seriously.
So in that period, you say you were looking at it as a way to lose weight, get into shape after your children. You sort of left it for a while?
Yeah, it was on and off thing, you know.
Not really full.
Yeah, because when you have children, you know, you already know that the kids are there. You hardly have time for yourself, or we don't make time for ourselves. And so it was on and off kind of thing. And 15 years ago, I was going through a lot of upheavals in life. Personal challenges. I was going through a very deep grief and traumatic period in life. And then I had some very special friends, and 2 of them came over to me and said, "Why don't you do this program here? It's for you." And I said, "No, I can't do it because I'm running a business right now, a family business. I have no time whatsoever." And they said, "But this is meant for you." I said, "What is it about?" And they're like, "Oh, it has some very light yoga and breath work and mindfulness." So I started to cry. I said, "I have got no time for all this." And they insisted. And I'm so glad, so grateful that they insisted. And I said yes.
Were at what age then?
My children were, one was about maybe 19 and the other one was 20. So they were older that time, and one was at uni and the other one was helping me out in the business. So that's how it went from there. And so I went and did this program. I got so caught up in this. Every morning, religiously, I would wake up early, go down, do my yoga, do the breath work, sit down in mindfulness. And it was the happiest times I had. It was a game changer for me. About 2 weeks of practice, daily practice, one morning I woke up with this beautiful smile. And I'm like, what just happened? There was this subtle change happening within me, from within.
Shift.
Yeah, I felt this little shift. And then I sat down and I thought, in ages, I hadn't slept through the night. And recently I realized I was able to sleep right through the night. The frown lines on my forehead was, getting less and less. I was not frowning and thinking what I'm going to do, how I'm going to do, All these things are just sorted out for me. And it was why? Because the mind was so clear. The mindfulness helped me to clear my mind. And this is such a profound knowledge I'm holding on to for me. I should be able to share this out with people. Nobody should live like this. So then but then that gave me the passion again arose, and I said, okay, I'm going and I want to teach this to other people. Nobody should live like this. So then I went to India, 2009. I went and I did all my programs and everything. I graduated. I came back, and for 12 years, almost 12 years now, I've been doing what I do the best and what I love the most: yoga, breathwork, and mindfulness. And it has been an amazing journey for me. What if I had not come into yoga? Where would I be now? You know, this has helped me open up. This has given me confidence. This has given me something to live for, something to live for. And when I look at my see other people who are just so absorbed in the outside world and not within themselves, it gives me a lot of pain to see that we are not paying attention to our own self. Yoga is an ancient and very powerful and precious gift from ancient Indian history into the modern world for modern man. Yoga is not only about the stretches, the asanas, the stretches we do. That is what people think that yoga is. Actually, yoga is more than that. Yoga is the umbrella word, and underneath comes 8 other things with a whole lot of other stuff. And yoga, the stretches that we call yoga, is just one of them. And under that yoga umbrella comes the asanas, the stretches that we do, the exercises, and the breath work, because when we do the stretches, our breath pattern automatically changes, right? The breath work, and then mindfulness. So it's a whole body workout. It's a whole body workout. And why has yoga, it started the ancient history, yes, so many thousands of years ago. But it is still here. Why? Actually, because it has actually been working as a wellness process. That is why it is still here with us. The most ancient, the first organized yoga scripts were written in the 2nd century. In the 2nd century. That's so interesting.
That's old.
That's old, really old. So yoga is older than any organized religion or process system.
Has always
It's the oldest. It's always been there. So the yoga helps us to bring harmony between thought and action, between nature and man.
And so connects them all.
Yeah, it connects us all up.
Yeah.
And that is yoga. So the practice of yoga helps us to come into this present moment, helps to calm the mind. The biggest issue at the moment is suicide. It's going to be #1 killer globally, suicide.
Mental stress.
And suicide has to do with mental stress. When children are born, as soon as their little teeth come out, parents are already there with the soft cloth cleaning the teeth, teaching about oral hygiene. We teach about physical hygiene. But do we teach our children about mental hygiene? No, we don't. And lack of mental hygiene is what causes depression. People are unable to, they don't know how to take care of their emotions, clear their minds, how to do things. And we are lacking that. I think, all the schools, it should be yoga and mindfulness should be made compulsory in all schools. So children at an early age learn how to take care of their emotions, how to take care of situations throughout the day. They should be able to know what to do in case of an adverse feeling that arises. And, right now, I know that all the civil servants have a wellness day. Yoga and mindfulness should be a part of it. And then that is when they will achieve total wellness. Don't you think so?
I think
That is
so.
when you will attain total wellness. Because yoga is to do with physical body. The breath helps us to, the breath helps us to eliminate 90% of our body's toxins. Breath alone. But we don't care for our breath so much,
Well, and I agree. I think taking it to primary schools and taking it early to children, to, like you say, we teach them oral hygiene and physical hygiene. But if you take yoga to them at an early age, then it trains them and prepares them for what comes next, to deal with it mentally.
Yeah, exactly.
Not just physically, but mentally. Bullying is so prevalent in schools. You come home, and if you just worry about it and keep it to yourself, you turn that pain inwards. No one knows what you're dealing with. So how can we help you if you don't say it? So you get all this rush of emotions in your head, and you clutter your mind up, and then one day it probably snaps, and you think, right, I'm going to do this that will stop it all, and it ends up being a really, really bad decision with a bad outcome.
Exactly.
Sometimes. Whereas if you find an avenue, in this case, you turn to yoga, you turn to the breath, you learn how to be in control of your emotions. You're mindful of what things you can block off and what you take in. So it's all about how you deal with what comes to your mind. Like you say, you went through a whole lot of grief and personal trauma. For you to be able to deal with that and get out of it and come out looking like this has got to be, and like you say, you put it all down to your discovering yoga and really getting into it deeply. And I think that's a wonderful way to deal with things. You're not out on the road running 20 Ks and working up a sweat.
Exactly.
But you're able to just sit quiet and figure out, what do I have to deal with today? What can I do to change today? I like the fact that yoga is concentrating on the present moment. And I think in one of the happiness programs that you run through Art of Living in Lautoka, I always remember the first course I took with you, your first question was, what makes you happy? And happiness means much more than just those material things, if you call it. Happiness is being able to be happy with yourself, how you are right now. Not with all the fanfare, not with all the glitz and the glamour, but just you. What makes you happy? And if you can change it now, because you can do it today. Don't worry about tomorrow. You never know. Don't worry about yesterday. It's gone. You can never change it. And I still remember that from your happiness program that you run.
Yeah. And like you mentioned, Millie, people take that marathon runs and everything to really strenuously sweat out and get into an ideal shape to be healthy. Our life is already a rat race. We're always rushing to work. We're rushing to get the housework
It's a
done.
marathon already.
Yeah, it's a marathon already.
Yeah.
We need to, for relaxation, for health reasons, we need to sit down and calm down and be ourselves. Calm your mind. Stop your mind from running from here and there and here and there. Calm your mind and you calm your life.
So can I ask you, as a yoga instructor and someone who's been practicing yoga for so many years, what are the challenges you see now in trying to bring yoga and its teaching to our community now, say in Lautoka or in Nandi? But what are the challenges you think?
Okay, first and foremost, that's a very nice question, Neely. First and foremost, everyone associates yoga with Hinduism. They think if they do yoga, they have to become Hindus. They have to change their religion to worship my God. It's not like that at all. Totally not. You look at it like this. We appreciate food from all over the world. We love Chinese, we love Mexican, we love Japanese food. You name it, we enjoy all these foods. Does it make us a Japanese if we eat Chinese? Japanese food. Does it make me Chinese if I'm eating Chinese? If I'm eating Mexican, I'm appreciating all the pasta and the cheese and everything. Does it make me a Mexican? It doesn't. Likewise for music. We enjoy music from all over the world. Does that make us change our religion? It doesn't. But when it comes to knowledge, then people become skeptical. This is good for everybody. This is good for me. But will I change my religion? Will I have to do this? No, no, no. It's not only for a specific group of people. It's for everyone. And that is exactly why yoga has come up to here from 2nd century right to here.
And that's probably the misconception that people get when they say yoga. Oh, do I have to do handstands, or do I have to be a Hindu?
Yeah, and that's another thing, you know, the handstands. No, I teach authentic yoga, and so do you. Many times in the Western world, we see that yoga is all about body contortions. No, I teach authentic yoga, and so does Milika here. So authentic yoga is just nice, gentle stretches that you can attain. You can totally do. Anyone can do. And you know, many times people think age is a factor. Oh, I'm 60 years old, I can't do yoga. You know, I was actually in my mid-50s when I went to do my yoga TTC. So there's no age limit. There's no age limit. If you look at a baby, a child, newborn baby, any religion, from any country, any caste, doesn't matter. They all do yoga. Every single child does yoga, a baby. Infants do yoga. If they don't do the yoga postures that you and I are teaching, they will never be able to build their muscles or their bone density, strength, to be able to start crawling, holding and standing up, and eventually start walking. So everybody is born a yogi. It's only as we grow older, we forget. You know, you look at the babies, they are all already doing the mudras, you know. Mudras are hand gestures that they place, and you can see them taking deep breaths in and out and stuff like that. It's just the way to be.
Yes.
Yoga is the way to be.
I think someone told me, if you have a body and you have breath, then you can do yoga.
Exactly.
And there's no excuse, because like you say, every day, every movement you make, add your breath in with all that, is really yoga.
It's really yoga, yeah. And we don't have to do handstands. We don't have to do put our legs behind our heads, you know.
Okay, I think I'm guilty of that. When I first heard yoga, I thought, oh God, would I have to put my leg behind my head, or really twist my body around? And then I started thinking about yoga, and I liked the principles of yoga. I liked the teachings of yoga. But then I guess I'm not the only local, because a lot of people in my shoes would probably do the same, where I want to go to that yoga class, but I'm not good enough, or I'm not prepared enough to actually do the poses. Of course, I find that silly, because that's not what yoga is all about. And it was just the basic stuff, because I told myself that then I'm not going to try to be too fancy and do too much. And then when I got into it, yoga is a journey, because your body, you're slowly preparing your body. And as you start from the simple stretches and you're going with the breath, you find your muscles are starting to relax a bit and are more flexible. Then you sort of challenge yourself to the next move. And from then to now, I can do some poses that I never thought I could. But it's been a gradual journey. So it's not something that you think, oh, I'm going to go to my first yoga class and then the teacher's going to make me bend over backwards. And it's not like that at all. And I can testify to that. But then I think back to when I first started getting interested in yoga, and it's probably how a lot of people think. When I finally plucked up the courage to go to a yoga class, it was nice to see Ramba standing there teaching. I thought, damn, I want to look like her when I'm her age. But for her to start doing her yoga class, and for me as a student to be able to get some concept of what she was talking about, it helped. And from my first class, every day I'd come home and I'd think about yoga, and I told myself, I'm gonna set a goal and I'm gonna get myself to a certain stage. And then as I went, like Ramba said earlier, you start to get a subtle shift. The energies around you start to change. And my daughter would come home on her travels, and she'd see me on the mat. And I remember she'd say, "What are you doing?" "Oh, it's yoga. I've discovered yoga." So for me, it's changed a whole lot of things for me. It's changed the way I look at things, the way I looked at how I eat, the type of foods I eat. And like Ramba said, just being mindful of everything around us. I love the fact that breath and body and mind are all interconnected with the environment, with food, with plant and animals. And everyone is inclusive in our earth, really, and that's the beauty of it. Going through the teachings, like Ramba said, has all been there forever and ever before we were born. And it's all very basic. Be kind, be generous, be charitable, be loving. All those are things we have heard about from years and years ago.
Human values. That is what all religions bring.
Basic stuff.
Yeah, basic stuff.
Yoga is so simple. So I have a lot of friends I'd love to share yoga with them. I'm happy that 3 or 4 of them have gotten on the rolling with me, I like to say. And if I have that many people, I mean, I can count it on one hand. It's huge happiness for me, because yoga is something I'm wanting to spread to my community. Like Ramba said, as a Fijian, I thought yoga was only for different group of people, different religion. But then again, whether you're a Hindu, and I'm a Catholic, an Anglican, any other religious group, we all base ourselves on the same principles. And it's worldwide. It's just how you do things. For me, it was a big shift in my health, and that's been yoga. And I'm glad I chose it, because I'm well over my 50s now. I've never been more happier physically, in my mental being, and in the friends I have around me. And then you just draw people who are like-minded, and I think it's just shifted a whole lot of things for me. So I'm very glad to be connected with Ramba. I've done a few of her happiness programs that Art of Living do in Lotoka, and I wish more people would do it. We will always tell ourselves we're going to do it, but it's finding the time and making the commitment to actually do it. And until then, you will never get to change. You will never get to find that shift.
So yeah, nice, Neely. And another misconception people have about yoga is thinking that they have to become vegetarians.
Yeah.
Vegetarianism is a happening within yourself.
And
nobody can force it on you. No one can force it on you. It is a personal choice. So when you become aware of your body with yoga, you are doing yoga, and you have become conscious about what is around you and how you should appreciate your body, and then you become aware of other beings' bodies as well.
Yes.
Right?
Totally.
Other beings' bodies as well. And then you realize that whatever is the non-veg that I'm trying to ingest to make me strong, actually those things are just vegetarians themselves. The biggest, strongest elephant is a vegetarian, please. They don't eat meat. But yoga is not about vegetarianism. There are big yogis who are not vegetarian at all. My yoga center is closed. I'm with the Girmit Center, so the Girmit Center is closed. And
Yeah, I like
my
that. How do
people, my students were calling me up and saying, "Ma'am, we want some yoga. We want some yoga. We're all home and not active at all." And cooking beautiful dishes and eating, that's what lockdown is all about at the moment. So I got onto Zoom, and on my Zoom, each day the number increases. I have people from Germany, Australia, New Zealand, Canada joining me for the yoga on Zoom session, and their timings are different. This is totally free for everyone. I'm putting it out on my Facebook pages and drawing people in, interested people, come in and join. If you can't pay for yoga, you're home right now. Join in free of charge. 1 hour of yoga, breath work, and mindfulness. And the feedback I have gotten is totally amazing. You're in the same group, so you see that all the time.
I
It's
like
really nice, and I'm so grateful I got this chance to make an impact in people's lives. To make them, we gotta go.
But how, like, I know one of the challenges would be in trying to get people in, say, well, you did a wonderful job with the market vendors. I think that was one of your greatest achievement, taking yoga to the Latoka market vendors.
For all my other yoga students and yoga enthusiasts, yes, if you are wanting to take this giant leap into yoga, go ahead and call Girmit Center, check with them. We have yoga sessions there Tuesdays and Thursdays. It's from 5:30 to 6:30 p.m. and Sundays we have 9 to 10 a.m. Go ahead and check. It's really cheap there, cheaper than going to the gym. And yoga is a workout for the whole body. Yes. It's not for one part of the body or one section, just building up the arms or just doing the legs or just doing the abs. It's a whole body workout. Yoga, in fact, the root word for yoga is yuj, meaning unity. Unity of what? Unity of body, mind, and breath. So it's a holistic approach to exercise and well-being.
And I remember her coming back and seeing me with my mat on the balcony doing my down dogs. And then she would tell her father, "What is mom doing?" "Oh, she's doing yoga." "Oh, wow, she's really committed," because every morning without fail, from Monday to Friday, I would put my mat out and I would do these simple sun salutations. And then I'd get her to come and join me. I remember the first experience of her spreading her mat next to me, and I was really getting into my practice, and she rolled her mat and walked away. And I continued. At the end of that workout, I said to her, "Oh, what happened? Why did you leave?" She said, "Oh, you were going too fast for me." She tells me years later that she got a bit annoyed that her mom was more flexible than her at 24. And I think I may have given her that little seed because she was on a super yacht. And one trip back, she said, "Do you want to do some yoga?" And I looked at her and I said, "Oh, you do it?" She said, "Oh, everyone on the boat is doing it." So I told them my mom's doing it, so I might as well get myself geared up to match you. And of course, she came with her yoga and her styles, and I thought, "Oh, this is good. We'll have a family competition going." So in a way, it helped drive me to push myself more, if only to keep up with a younger person who was trying to teach me yoga, but I knew it before her. But I love the fact that we could exchange ideas, the teachings of yoga, and it was funny, we found a connection, and then for some reason I think we created such a good energy in the home that my whole house got filled with it. I like the sentence in yoga where sometimes you're doing your meditation and they say, "Get rid of anything that is not serving you," and I think with a clear mind comes a clear home, a clear house. Pandemic 2019 hit, we were all indoors, and it got me thinking. I've got Ramba, who was a great mentor. I suddenly got Nicole, who took off and did her teacher training. He's such a great yogi. Then I thought to myself, well, I'm stuck here at home. maybe I can actually do a yoga teacher training course. I remember ringing Ramba and saying, hey, there's this course online, what do you think? And she said, go for it. As a Fijian, a part of what Ramba tries to do is get out in the community. And then I took it to a community level. I thought, how can I get my other Fijian friends to enjoy what I've been enjoying for the last 5-6 years? So I thought, okay, sometimes in ripples and in waves, you start with your group here. I know my family had found the joys of yoga. So I thought, okay, I'll go with a little group of friends. I have friends that I've stayed connected to right through school over 35 years ago. So I told myself, okay, I'm going to work with that little group. So a friend of mine offered a home in Nasoso. Because I was so eager to learn, Ramba was my first teacher. I wanted to keep that connection. Sometimes when you teach, you get so involved in teaching. It's nice to go back and just be a student and sit there and do it again. So I like that connection, getting back to Ramba, back to Art of Living. So for me, like Ramba said, yoga being accessible to our locals, for me, for my Fijian girls, making it accessible to them, getting rid of the myth, the misconception that it's religious. And someone actually told me, oh, did you have to change your religion? No, I'm a Catholic. I know I've gone with Art of Living when they've done their community work at the old people's home. They've taken music there and
taken yoga there as well.
Yoga, and I remember coming back one day in a state of shock, really. And I said to my husband, I've just been to the old home, taken yoga and singing with Art of Living. He said, how was it? I said, oh my God, it's like I was under this big rock and my head never got out. It opens your eyes to so many different things on different levels. And I think that's where Ramba and I get the connection to. We do a lot of community work. Art of Living does a lot of community work. Ramba personally is very community-based, and we are members of a few organizations that do community work. And it's been nice to take yoga in our outreach work and incorporate it all. And it's just wonderful. I just want more people to be able to enjoy the benefits of yoga. It's, you're not paying huge subscriptions to go to a gym. You're not having to buy fancy shoes. So you just take yourself there. If you can find a mat or a towel and just be there. But you've got to commit. You've got to make the time. And I think now, when we're in lockdown, there's no better time than now to really get yourself ready for it.
Thank you, Milika.
Yeah.
Thank you. That was a lovely chat.